Welcome back on deynonmod. Today I want to propose you the review about the basic rules of Warhammer 40k 8th edition. Psychic phase. Here you had to choose the Psyker and the power that the Psyker will try to manifestate. Here you had to consider that the amount of powers and the 9 that the Psyker can have. It's written in the rules of in the description of the mod itself. So it's not related to the rules, to the basic rules or so on. It means that it will be able to degenerate quite easy, but at the same time it will be corrected even easier because you have only to change the model, the description of the model. It's something that it's quite interesting about it. It's recovered by Age of Sigmar and it's quite interesting. About the psychic powers, you have to remember that you can choose them, except maybe some exceptions, but you can choose. So it means that you don't have to be messy about what it will be the power that the psychic powers that you have. You can choose, and so choose how to do before, so how to realize the units, how to realize the balancing of the rooster. You have also to understand that you have, except some exception obviously, the power psionic smite, that it's quite interesting. And it's interesting why? It's because the launch value of this power it's quite low, and it let you create mortal wounds. But the problem is at the same time that because in shooting phase you can't target in the characters. Here you could do, but the power specify that you can only make it on the closest unit. So at the same time it forces quite a bit the use of such power. About making the psychic test, you had to realize using 2d6 dice the value or surpass the value written on the psychic power. So it's recovered from Age of Sigmar, and another thing that it's taken from this, it's from the handbook Age of Sigmar, and it's the thing that you can only use one psychic power for each turn for that type of psychic power. So if you except for smite that it doesn't fall in this category, every time that you use a psychic power or you try to use, you can't use the same with another psyker of your army. So it doesn't allow the spam of the psychic powers. It's quite interesting about this. About the Perils of Warp, it's something that come back from quite a lot of previous editions, because now it applies to both double 1 and double 6, and it's not the final amount, it's the dice result, so 1-1 and 6-6, and if the psionic has one of each of these results, it keep these 3 mortal wounds. And one thing that it changed a lot is the thing that if it die cause these mortal wounds, it doesn't launch the power, even if the cast value, it's the final result, it's okay. So it's quite in a way interesting about this. Another thing is the fact that if the cycle die for this result, for the Paris of the Warp, also the units inside 6-inch range from him suffer other D3 mortal wounds from the Paris of Warp. So Psyche are useful, but can be anyway suffering and make suffer the units around. Once that you have been able to launch the psychic power, the opposite army can deny the witch if it has a unit then that it's a psyker and can so dispel the psychic power launched. Here it's the same as Age of Sigmar. For the 9 you have to surpass the result, not the value, the cast value, but the result of the dice for the psychic power that has been launched. So in the case that the opponent has, for example, had a double 6 value in the dice, and it survive, for example, the Paris of the Warp, you have to obtain 13 to dispel. So if you haven't any bonus to dispel, you can't dispel it. So it's quite anyway interesting about it. One thing that instead different from Age of Sigmar is the 24 inch instead of the 18 inch for Age of Sigmar about the Denying the Witch range that can be done. And about resolving the psychic power, simply once that you have launched the power with success, the psyche is not dead because the peril of the wolves and it doesn't be denied, you resolve the psychic power set to the end. From deynonmod it's everything. I invite you to put a like on this video, to subscribe to the channel, to ring the bell, and to comment this video if you are interested in something about this video or you want to suggest me some arguments for other videos. I hope to see you again to the next time.